like the club. So just like the history is that over here we have some stats about just the whole like literacy rates in India in general. So obviously it's like not really the highest. So like as a club, last year we were just thinking of different types of activities that we could use to help people. And then we thought, oh hey, if digital literacy is something that I feel should be spread around the world more, and because of all like the importance it has. So we thought, okay, let's look for some place that we can, some community that we can set up a digital literacy project in. So like our idea is that we just wanted to establish like a cyber classroom with a multi-users, even a single computer that has internet connection and just like the basic stuff such as like Microsoft Office, just so like the basics so that someone can learn how to use and utilize a computer and the internet for their benefit. So like the whole process with IEEE-EPICS is IEEE is IEEE, and then EPICS is a program that stands for Engineering Projects and Community Service. It was created at Purdue University in the 90s. So I guess IEEE and EPICS, they have a partnership in which you can apply for funding for a project, for like an EPICS community service project through IEEE. So for that, you need to have like a club, like it can be university or high school, and you also have to have a nonprofit organization which you work with. So I was aware of this nonprofit organization based in Somerset County called Korea, which is actually working with this library, with this village called Paushi. And they set up a library in Paushi last year. So like you can see, it's like the veranda of the library. It's like mud and clay hut. You can see like everyone's working. And then we decided, and we thought, oh, maybe we can set up a digital literacy project here. So, so this is some basic information about like the overview of the project. But what we did is we researched how to set up like a digital literacy project, the materials needed, such as a computer, a printer, how the internet would work in rural India, because this is about 3 hours away from the closest city. And we worked with the NGO of Korea, and we just wrote up a proposal and submitted to IEEE-EPICS, which I believe is based in the IEEE headquarters in Piscataway. And we submitted funding for approximately $1,500. So like you can apply for like a substantial amount of funding if the project is worthwhile. So then overall, we gave the facts of what we wanted to do and how it would help the people in the village of Paushi, as well as us as students. So overall, the goal was just to implement this cyber classroom. So we had different like roles in our club when doing this towards the end of last school year. So we had like some students who worked to create an SQL database, which would be like a really simple one that could be used because they have like a library. So part of this digital literacy project was we put a little database so that they can keep track of their books and such. And then most of like the work that was done was just researching for computer books and hardware and software that can be used to teach digital literacy and also basic English, because like even though they're like in a village, like English is one thing that they really wanted to learn, as they've heard about. So like towards the end, so like April and May, we did all the research, we submitted the funding to IEEE-EPICS and it was accepted. And then since going to India is like a big like task, so I just took the responsibility to go over the summer. So I went in like the beginning of August, and here we have like the whole implementation of the project. So we had the funding. What's the funding? So the village of Paushi is located in West Bengal, which is on the eastern like part of India. So the closest city is Kolkata or Calcutta. So we went to this, like I went to this place in Kolkata called the E-Mall, which is just like, I think it was called the E-Mall, which is just like a big 3-story mall, I guess, that was just selling computers. So it was just like computers and technology. So we just like bought all the stuff and got Windows 7 and the Microsoft package, just Windows 8 socket. And So I did a mock setup of how make sure everything is working, because you don't want to like go to try to help somebody and then it doesn't work and be awkward. So we make sure that the wireless is working and everything. So these materials were all brought to Bauchi like in the day and such. And then we have that veranda where those students were learning. I wanted to do a demonstration to the students on the inauguration of having their computer. So I set up the computer and such on the veranda, and so we did that. And the interesting is that we need, obviously for computing, you need some sort of desk or table. So we're talking to the gentleman who is in charge of the library, Mr. Muramana, and so he's a really helpful gentleman. And he said that he can have a computer table built in the village. So over here, there's this computer table desk that was made in the village, like from their trees and such, like handcrafted. So that was really cool. So the quality was nice, and it was like everything that you needed. So like where the keyboard would be with the slide in and out. So I was like really amazed at that. And so we just put this on the outside veranda area and wired up the computer printer and such. So we had this demonstration outside, and there were like over 40 students that just attended. They brought up to the school day. They came, and then I was there, and we had this teacher, a teacher from Kolkata that wanted to volunteer for this project, Mr. Amit Paul, and he's a teacher as well. So because of the language barrier, he was able to kind of like do the actual teaching. So they just taught like what you can do with Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Microsoft Paint. And the students they just loved Microsoft Paint because they saw the shapes you can build, like you can make a house, or even just like making a circle and filling it in with like a color. That just because this is the first time that they'd ever seen a computer or a printer, so this was like something like on a screen was just like amazing. So because it was a printer, they were able to print out their Microsoft Paint pictures, and then we showed them the internet capabilities, and I think that amazed them the most was when they went to YouTube and they put out some songs, and it was just like they were just amazed at how this something was moving, and then sound was coming out of the little speaker box. So to us that's but for the kids in the village, it was amazing. And the kids that showed up, they ranged from 9-year-olds up to people my age, and then even a little bit older, so 9-year-olds to 20-year-olds. So some of them have heard what computers can do, but none of them have actually used one. So here they could use. So here are all the students. It's like the veranda, so you can see the lights there. So this is Mr. Amit Paul. He's a school teacher in Kolkata, so this way he's able to teach. And I'm over here. So we set up this computer on the outside for this demonstration. So over here, kind of hard to see, but it's a printout of a little house that somebody made on MS Paint. So nice. And then over here we have a little banner, sponsor banner. So we have all our sponsors. So we have IEEE-EPICS right there. And I got PCJS kind of goes underneath that kind of got all that. So obviously, going to a different country, 3 hours away from the closest city is going to cause obstacles. So obviously, the internet connection wasn't the best. It would drop quite often and everything. So we looked at in Kolkata, we looked at 2 different internet providers. It was Airtel and then Docomo. And we tested. This is testing which one was more efficient in the village. So that turned out to be Airtel, where the connection wasn't the best, but it worked. So that, and obviously there was a language barrier. I could speak partially with the native language Bengali, but obviously accents and everything is off. So teacher Mr. Amit Paul, he was there for that. And then in August it's the monsoon, so there's a lot of torrential rain and such. So that's why there was a lot of power cuts. And you know how if a computer just shuts off suddenly, that's not good for the hardware or anything. So we got a UPS, uninterruptible power supply, so that would charge up. So if the power suddenly cut by some circuit problem, which happened, the day that we went to implement it, it happened at least 3 times. But the computer wouldn't just like shut off, it'd have some power. So we have to keep that safe. So then just like it's like overall outcomes of the project, those children were educated on how to use modern technology for the academic and future personal value. Was that they're also like Kaushi's like a primarily farming village, so like they mainly fish and then cultivate rice. So they like from here they can learn more of the new updated farming techniques that they might not have been aware of. So that can help the village as a whole instead of just like the students. And then from our BRHS point of view, like our club members learn project management skills while working on a humanitarian project. So it was like service learning, which is something that I'm a strong believer in, because it had every benefits. And it was just like communication and then being able, because then as a club we wrote the proposal, so like proposal writing and such. So in this case, everyone benefited. And for future plans, we're hoping that this could be, you can get like again in different places in the world and like spread. And what is that? There's like we also know that there's other organizations that like do this type of work, such as the Volunteers Association for Bangladesh, who they're located in Bangladesh, but they're also have this. What they're doing is that they're also doing digital literacy projects in rural communities in Bangladesh. So we contacted them, and they actually sent us like books, like computer books that were in the native language. It's like the characters and such. Like I couldn't read it, but the teachers in the village, they'd be able to read it, and then they could teach the students. So that was good. And they also gave like Bengali, which is the language, to English software. So it was like just like the most basic like vocabulary structures. So the students would be able, it was like had pictures and everything. So the students would be able to like learn just like basic English, but like it's a start. And then we hope that like this will change the lives of students, and we hope to expand like like in general to more places, but also in this village. Because as you saw, like this building, it's all like the library was just like a mud and clay hut. So if it's like raining, it'll get like muddy. Yeah. So just some results. Here we have Mr. Paul, who's like our teacher from Kolkata. Here, this is Mr. Shwaparanjana, who is the headmaster of the village itself. Interestingly, he's no electrical engineer by profession. Like he has a degree in electrical engineering, but like he's going back to his roots in the village. So he's like the teacher there. So he knows how to use a computer. So that's going to be a teacher. Here we have some. This is Mr. Mana, who is in charge of this library, and then it's on there. And this is like the final spot. This is inside the building. So we set up the computer here. We have our banner. So overall results, everyone that showed up on the first day. And like this was like 40 plus on the first day, but I just called Mr. Mata 3 days ago, and he says that they're running classes 5 days a week, like Wednesday through Sunday, and every day they're having 40 different students. So like that's like 200. Like the village's population is only, but it's not that big of a village. So they're literally having like 200 different students. I mean, like they'll come continuously. So the Wednesday kids will come on Wednesdays, but like 200 kids are learning how to use a computer.
Wow. So
that's why we're hoping for the future. We'll apply for like more funding, so maybe we can have more computers, because 40 people on one computer. Yeah. Okay. And then this is at the end, kind of. I'm tired. And then yeah, so we have everything: speakers, we have a little webcam, printer, and then a desk made from the wood. And then we're just gonna have keeping this behind the executive policy IEEE who was involved, the student club meeting, and so just like we'd like to thank IEEE PCJS for supporting us with this IEEE club for the last 2 years, especially Dr. Mercury for all your continued support and guidance. IEEE-EPICS, as they took the time to read the proposal and then gave us the funding. CREA, who is the organization that we found, the NGO that's based in Somerset County, but worked with the village, so that's how we discovered this village. And then the Volunteers Association for Bangladesh, as they helped us. They gave us ideas. And then, of course, Dr. Valdez, who was our past advisor for the help that he's given us with the club for the first 2 years of its existence. And I created a blog for the project, and like I updated it while I was there every day with different stuff. And it's still being updated with new information. So like I just said that I called 3 days ago and I found out the update, so like I posted that 3 days ago. So this is the URL for the blog, and I can write down the extended out. So it also has about 400 pictures from the project itself. So you saw about 3 or 4 of them, the 600s. So if you can, please feel free to view the blog, and it will be continuously updated.